If you're feeling that sense of Andor withdrawal every Wednesday morning, know that you're not alone. If you've picked over the various comics, novels, and short-lived theme park attractions featuring the character and are looking for something, anything, no matter how small or tangential to tide you over, well, here's something you might consider adding to your Wednesday morning breakfast. The old Star Wars Expanded Universe, now known as Legends, has contributed a lot to the current canon incarnation of the galaxy far, far away. There are multiple examples of Expanded Universe characters in the new canon, but it's obviously impossible for a character created for the new canon to have a role in the Legends continuity. Impossible, but not for Cassian Andor. From 1995 to 1999, Bantam Spectra released an anthology series of short stories from the Star Wars universe. The first three collections featured new stories from each of the three original trilogy films, all centered around secondary characters. This format allowed for smaller, more character-driven stories. Like that time IG-88 tried to hijack the Death Star and take over the galaxy. The third and fourth volumes, Tales from the Empire and Tales from the New Republic, republished short stories from the Star Wars Adventure Journal, a magazine featuring stories and scenarios from the Star Wars RPG. Two semi-regular contributors were novelist Timothy Zahn, famous for his Thrawn trilogy, and Michael Stackpole, who had kicked off the X-Wing series. Toward the end of the Adventure Journal's run, these two titans came together to write multi-part crossover stories featuring some of their most popular original characters advertised as short novels on the collection covers. And thank goodness they are, because it makes for a much better video title. These stories were filled with cameos from both authors' previous novels. However, since both of their collaborations were set in the years before The Empire Strikes Back, and both the X-Wing and Thrawn trilogy took place after Return of the Jedi, many of these characters couldn't actually meet yet. This led to some very convoluted situations in stories like Side Trip, where Admiral Thrawn teamed up with Corran Horn, the Corellian security agent and future New Republic X-Wing pilot star of Rogue Squadron, and his dad, former Jedi Padawan Hal Horn. Because the plot of the Thrawn trilogy hinged on Thrawn being an unknown factor in the New Republic years later, this meant that Thrawn posed as another EU character, the bounty hunter Jodo Kast, who was himself best known for cosplaying in Mandalorian armor as Boba Fett. That is one turducken of a disguise. By 1997, the Adventure Journal had been cancelled and several stories planned for future issues were instead included in Tales of the New Republic. Among these was the 4-part interlude at Darknell. This was a sort of prequel to Side Trip, again featuring Hal Horn, but now during a time when his son was still a teenager. The protagonist was Senator Garm Bel Iblis, first introduced in the Thrawn trilogy, as one of the 3 founding members of the Rebel Alliance alongside Mon Mothma and Bail Organa. Because this is a cloak and dagger story set between Episode 3 and Episode 4, there are a lot of common elements with Andor and Rogue One. We've got regional law enforcement operating outside of their jurisdiction, a heavy focus on Imperial intelligence, Death Star data, senatorial family drama, antique shops serving as a front for illegal operations, hints at friction between various alliance factions, the list goes on. But the biggest common thread between the two is, for my credits, the cameo appearance of Cassian Andor 19 years before he appeared in Rogue One. Let's back up to the beginning of the story. Senator Garm Bel Iblis is on Ancharon about to give a speech denouncing the Emperor when he gets the message that Och wants to meet him. Who is Och? That's a code name for a special messenger from Bail Organa, dispatched only on Rebel Alliance business. It's a good thing that Och is there, too, because the auditorium where Garm was about to give his speech is destroyed right then and there by Palpatine's agents. With his entire family killed in the blast, Garm is spirited away by Och, leading into the main story where Garm goes undercover on Darknell. So while Och's role is small, it's pivotal to the story. Without him, Garm would have died in the blast and the Rebel Alliance might not have survived. And Och is 100% Cassian Andor, retroactively. How do we know this? Well, in Pablo Hidalgo's Rogue One, The Ultimate Visual Guide, there's a text box listing Cassian Andor's operational aliases. And one of them is Och, senatorial contact on Darknell. In order to demonstrate how cool this is, I've decided to stage a reading of the scene after Garm Bel Iblis has escaped from the bombing that killed his family. I'll be using 2 toy figures to represent the characters, Cassian Andor from the 2021 Black Series Rogue One action figure collection, and Garm Bel Iblis from the 2007 Force Unleashed miniature series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy an affordably brief bit of retroactive continuity theater.
Are you all right, Senator? They're going to have to go underground until Bail and Mon Mothma can identify whoever was responsible.
I'll be all right once the Emperor is dead, and what was once the Republic has been restored.
I understand. You're one of us now, Senator.
What are you talking about? I've been part of the Alliance since it was formed.
But you were with us for other reasons. Political reasons, like Palpatine's abuse of power. Or idealistic reasons, like erosion of personal freedom. Or the anti-alien biases drifting into the legal system. Now, Palpatine has hurt you. Not someone else, but you. Now, it's personal.
Maybe it is. On the other hand, maybe that's exactly what he wants. To trick us into thinking we're fighting him for purely personal reasons.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is that kind of battle is driven by emotion. Eventually the emotion burns away, and then your reason for continuing to fight is gone. But we're not going to fall into that trap. He can do anything he wants to me, can take anything from me that he will. I'll still fight him, because it's the right thing to do.
Is that it? Are we done?
I'm so sorry. He has a very short attention span.
Now yes, Legends and Canon are two separate continuities. Yes, Ach was on Encheron, not Darknell, the title planet where most of the story takes place. Yes, Darknell is misspelled here, and okay, most of Cassian's background from that book has already been retconned by the TV show. But I think there was a reason the author chose that particular character, because once I started reading him as Cassian Andor and not a random character we never see again, it added a whole new dimension to the story. What I love about Ach being Cassian is that you can hear his perspective burning through. His fight is deeply personal, and he'll do whatever he can to advance the cause. Bel Iblis rejects Ach's perspective, but he uses it to help crystallize his own idealistic reasons for rebelling, which will eventually cause him to split from Mon Mothma's rebels later on. In small moments like this, the legends of the expanded universe and current incarnation of Star Wars blend together in a very satisfying way. They're like cereal and blue milk, all part of a balanced Star Wars breakfast.